The following is a short video covering how orders work within Counterpoint Point of Sale. The beginning for this is to go into Touchscreen, which is Counterpoint's Point of Sale. On my touchscreen, I have created a button called Start Order. This is an important button because what it will do is change the line color on the left. From previous videos, you might recall that green lines in Counterpoint are ticket lines, meaning things that you are selling right now. You can change a green line to a red line if you have a return button, in which case this will become a negative quantity when you return it. The button here called Sale Line will turn that back to a green line. And in my example today, I have a button called Start Order, and when this is clicked, the first thing it does, change that to a blue line. I have it set up to prompt for the sales rep. In this case, I'll choose the manager. And I also have it set up to immediately prompt for the customer. This is important because when you're taking an order, it usually means that you do not have the items or the quantities right now, and you're gathering the customer information and what products that they are interested in, and they're going to either pick these up at a later time or you're going to be shipping them to them. So that's what orders are all about. In this example, I began my start order. I'm going to select a few items here. And I'll just do one more. So there I have a number of items. At this point, I have a few options. One thing I could do is take some payment. It does not have to be the full payment. It could be a deposit, or I could pay for the whole order, or I could take no payment at this time. It really just depends on your business requirements. In this example, I'll go ahead and take payment, and I will pay the full balance up front. To do that, there's some handy checkboxes here. Pay ticket balance, pay balance. I'll say OK to that. So at this point, I have fully paid this ticket. There's nothing more I need to do here. I will click this button called Complete, which for an order, Counterpoint's waiting for to let them know that I've finished taking this order. So I'll go ahead and click Complete. And in this case, it's prompting for my ship to. I'll just take advantage of clicking the Copy Bill to. Say OK, and now that it is complete. Once you have an order, there's a few things that could happen with an order. I'm going to go into a button that I've created called Process Orders. Directly behind that, I have a button also called Process Orders, which pulls up this lookup. And this shows some of the things that we can do with a current open order. By the way, it defaulted to the most recent order, but if I was working on a different order, I could click the magnifying glass, I could search by the customer, I could search by the order number, I could pull up some previous order. In this case, I'm going to focus on the order we just took. We might want to go and edit that order, in which case I could just choose Edit. Maybe in this case, the quantity was different, so I want to bump up my quantity to 2 of those. Or I could remove a line item, whatever I want to do. And once I've made my edits, that Complete button comes back into play, where I tell Counterpoint that I'm done with my changes. Other things I could do with an order once it's open, I could decide to cancel that order. If I had not fully paid this up front, I could come in and do something called deposits, which is where I could add additional payments. In this case, one of the most common things I'd want to do with an order is that we now have the goods, and it's time to connect those goods with the customer. And that step is called Release. In this case, I've looked up my order, I go to Release, and away we go. Now, when I went to the Process Orders button page, you'll notice there's a choice here called Select All and Select Line. You do have the option to release individual line items to a customer. It's maybe not as common as releasing all of them, but you can pick and choose. In this example, I'll do the more common Select All. And when I choose that, Counterpoint is noticing, well, if you're selecting all, you're probably done with this document. So it's asked me, do I want to release document? In which case I will say yes. There are some defaults here just telling me what's happening with this. I'm going to go ahead and say OK to the defaults. And I'll just point out that the line colors here that were blue earlier because it was an order, you'll notice they have changed to green. If the customer was standing at the front register picking up this order, at this time, once these have turned green, I could add, if I wanted to, I could add additional items. Maybe there's some other things they're going to pick up today. In my case, I edited the order, so there's an amount still due. And since this is a ticket, the only way I can finish this ticket is if I fully pay it. So I can go to payments. I can choose my method of payment, and I can come in here and finish this up. In this case, I'll just say pay ticket balance. And that is an example of releasing an order. We'll go back into process orders so you can see just a few other examples. I will look up a different order in this case. Now this order, by the way, you'll notice it looks a little different because we have fully released it. I could click on view activity and I can see when that it was entered, it was edited, it was released. I can see all those kind of details. I'll just look up one other order here. We'll pull up this one from 2021. And maybe in this case, this has gone past due and I just really want to cancel it. So I will choose cancel order and I get to choose what I want to do. Most likely in most cases, we'd be refunding this amount to the customer. In some cases, there's the outside chance that the option is to forfeit. Maybe this has just gone long past due and for whatever reason, the customer has forfeited this amount. But in this case, we'll say that we are refunding this. I'll choose which pay code. In this case, it's cash. And that's all there is to canceling an order. One other option I didn't mention was printing a pick list. This might happen if you're taking in web orders every day. Then you might be coming in here and going something called pick. And when we do this, we have this option to print the pick list, and we can walk around and go choose and select those items in order to finish this order. That is just a brief walkthrough of orders within Counterpoint. As always, if you have any questions, please reach out to us at lparetail.com.